Hi everyone, and welcome back to Living Intuitively with Elisa. So today's episode is a weekly tarot pull episode for the week of May 10th through the 16th, 2020. So the day that I'm recording and releasing this podcast, it's Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. And I want to take a moment and do something a little bit special for today's episode. So I'm not only going to pull a tarot card from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the classic tarot deck, for the community as a whole for this week. But I'm also going to start off this episode of Living Intuitively with Lisa by pulling an oracle card for all of the mothers out there. And what I want to say is that I know that this day can be a tough one for some of you out there. Those of you who have lost your mom or have difficult relationships with your mom. But I want to say that we can still tap into our motherly energies, whether it is from our mom, because we all have a mom, or we can tap into the energies of the nurturer, of the archetype of the mom. And so I want to pull a card that will maybe bring us closer to our mothers, maybe bring us closer to our children, for those of you who are moms, and maybe bring us closer to those motherly energies of the world. Maybe pulling a card, maybe you can think about Mother Earth in this case. So, I'm going to start off with the Mother's Day pull and what the card deck that I'm using is Sahara Rose, a Yogic Path. I love this deck for guidance and lessons because a lot of the cards in this, or all of the cards in this deck, are lessons that we can take from the yogic philosophies. Okay, so as I'm shuffling this deck, and this is for all of you out there, whether or not you have a good relationship or bad relationship, or maybe you have lost your mother but know that she is within you, and maybe this is for all the mothers out there. Okay, I'm shuffling the cards. I want you to take a moment to take a deep breath and send love to this motherly energy, this nurturing energy. Alright, so I've shuffled the card and I'm going to run my hand along the side of the deck. And like all of the oracle cards, I'm going to actually spend time reading a little bit of the passage from the guidebook after I pull the card. Okay, so for Mother's Day, the card that I've chosen is Samadhi. And I might be pronouncing these wrong, and I apologize if I pronounce this wrong. This is a beautiful card. I've actually never pulled this card. And I'm going to go ahead and look at the book. So this card, I mean, I like this card deck because of all the colors. And each card has very different colors, but they all kind of go together. This one has very like teal and purple tones to it. Okay, since I've never gotten this card before, I want to take a moment to look at the description. All right. Okay, so the overall theme of this card, Samadhi, if I say that right, is 8 stages of yoga, advanced state of meditation and absorption in the self. And I pulled it in the upright position. So, the upright position, the book says, have you noticed the signs of spiritual progress? Your daily practice has brought you to a place of stillness, and it is there where you experience samadhi, the joining of all aspects of your being, physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional. Samadhi is the deepest level of awareness when you experience supreme bliss, consciousness, and enlightenment. Your human consciousness has become one with cosmic consciousness, and your soul has realized that it is far more than a mind and body. Celebrate the reunion of your soul and spirit. For you are a microcosm of the macrocosm. Oh, so this is a beautiful card for being held. Oh, this is such a great card for Mother's Day, because you know that you're not just your mind and your body, that you're part of a collective, and that this is showing you that you should be aware, or you have become aware of this enlightenment, this spirituality side of all of consciousness. And this is a very nurturing card. Kind of that feeling of just like knowing that there's more to life than what's going on in our material world. All right, so for all of the mother energy out there, Samadhi. Samadhi. I apologize again if I mispronounced that. So I'll circle back to that card at the end, but let's pull a card for the week ahead. And for this pull, I'm going to be using the classic Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And for this card, I mean, of course, the energies of Mother's Day are influencing it, but I'm going to be pulling for just the week ahead and for any advice that the community, the collective, whoever's listening to this podcast needs at this time. So while I'm shuffling, like always, I want you to take deep breaths, be open to the community, to the collective, and be open to the messages that you can receive at this time. Take a moment to center yourself, prepare for this week ahead, and kind of soak in all the energies that could be possible at this time. Alright, so I've shuffled the deck. I'm going to run my hand across the side of the deck till I find a card that speaks or kind of jumps out. The art of picking the card, well, there's an art to it, art and science to it, but it's more about a feeling that you get, emotional feeling. Sometimes it's visual. And it differs from person to person and from reading to reading, what kind of feeling you get whenever you see the card that you know is the right card for this pull. What I like to teach others is find your own way, and if it feels right, it is right. You can be confident in that. Okay, so the card for this week, this time it was a visual noticeable visual pull for me, that this is the card for this week. And the card is, the moon in reverse. I've been getting the moon a lot. Not only have I been getting it for weekly pulls, but also for daily pulls. The moon card has been coming up a lot. With the full moon, this heavy, heavy full moon that we just went through, it's no wonder that we keep getting these same energies. Okay, so I got the moon in reverse this time. So just a quick reminder of what the moon card looks like. If you're listening to this on audio, you can always Google the moon tarot card, and most likely it'll come up. If you want more specifically this exact card, you can type in Rider-Waite-Smith and then the moon. But I'll describe it briefly for anybody who isn't familiar with the card. So on the top of the card, if I bring it up to the upright position, the top of the card has a moon and sun like mixed together, and then there are two towers in the background with this like, hills maybe, or water with tall waves, and then there's a path from the horizon all the way into the foreground, and in the foreground there's a lake or a pond with a crayfish in it. And the crayfish is just on the edge of the pond or lake and is, looks like it's about to crawl up onto that path. And another thing to note is that the land between the two waters, so the open ocean and the lake, the pond, or the path that runs through that is on land, And on either side of the path there is a dog, like a domesticated dog, and a wolf. So this card in the reverse position shows a hidden difficult path. So if you notice, what always draws out for me is this little crayfish and the path that it has to go on between these two howling dogs or wolves, and the path that it has to take from these calm waters, these comfortable, calm waters, into the open ocean and into the horizon where you don't even know where the end of the path is. And if you think about the moon comes out at night, and so this path is in darkness and it's only illuminated by the moon. I pulled it in reverse. I have to make that note. And in this case, I'm seeing it as a hidden journey. A difficult, hidden journey. And during this time, especially whenever we're all inside in our homes, we're all probably going through some version of this hidden journey. Whether we're trying to find ourselves, or we're taking this journey with someone else in our lives. This could show a difficult time with a relationship. But the good news about this card is that you can trust the guidance of the moon. Like I said, this journey is at night, so it's hidden, there's dark, there's shadows. But you can trust the guidance of this moon. And the moon is bright and there for you. So that intuition is the moon. If you wanted to call it a spiritual path, then you have to trust. You have to take this card and use it to trust your intuition as you go through this difficult journey. The moon card, I love the moon card, and it's been coming up a lot lately. But in combination, like I said, I was going to bring this back, the first card for the Mother's Day. This spiritual path, this spiritual enlightenment, isn't an easy journey. To get to a point where you can fully trust your intuition and be lit up by it, have your path lit up by your intuition is difficult. And so if I were to give any advice, if I was going to combine these cards, knowing that this card was pulled from Mother's Day, for nurturing energies, and this card was pulled for the week, I would say to nurture your intuition, trust your intuition, maybe lean on others if you feel that you're dark, if you're in darkness and you need that assistance, lean on the people who are nurturing to you, maybe nurture others in their paths. So this week, I would go inward. I would trust your spiritual path wherever you are on, whatever path you're on, and wherever you are in that journey. Trust that you are within a community that will support you and nurture you along the way. All right, this is a short podcast this week. Short update for the tarot pull for the week of May 10th through the 16th. I hope that you have an amazing week ahead. And of course, if you want to talk about these cards or anything intuition or tarot, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My Instagram is @intuitionliving. On there you can find all of the links to the YouTube channel, the podcast, and then also the private Facebook community. All right, so I hope you have an amazing week ahead, and I hope to see you next time.